When all hope died, the final day of the human war began with silence. Not the peaceful kind, but the silence that comes when everything is already lost. Commander Rian Hale stood inside Earth's last underground bunker, deep below the broken city of New London. Dust fell from the ceiling. The walls shook every few seconds. Enemy bombardment had already destroyed every defense tower, every shield generator, every ship in orbit. The war against the Krail Dominion had lasted 63 years. Most people alive had never seen a normal sunrise. They grew up hiding in bunkers, listening to stories of worlds consumed by the enemy. Now the Krail fleet was here, above Earth, ready to end everything. Rian stared at the main screen. Satellite images showed huge black ships covering the sky like a swarm of metal beasts. Their largest ship, the Krail mothership, was a floating mountain, alive and breathing like a giant creature from another world. Its engines glowed with blue fire. Its skin moved like living armor. Everyone in the bunker could feel it. Humanity was finished. A junior officer, Mira Voss, tried to keep her voice steady as she announced, "Commander, last orbital cannon offline. No ships left. Earth's defense is gone." She didn't finish the sentence. She didn't need to. Around them, soldiers tightened their grips on useless rifles. Doctors held wounded children, trying to comfort them. No one spoke of victory. No one spoke of hope. For the first time in his life, Commander Rian Hale felt old. He had fought half the war, watched friends die, watched planets fall, watched maps shrink until only Earth remained. And now even Earth wouldn't last the hour. A loud boom echoed from above. Dust rained down. Lights flickered. The Krail were preparing their final strike. Suddenly every speaker in the bunker crackled, and a cold, alien voice filled the air. "Human resistance ends today." The sound sent chills through every heart. Some soldiers whispered prayers. Others closed their eyes, waiting for the end. Rian clenched his fists. He was not afraid of death. He was afraid of dying without giving humanity a single chance. He looked at the officers. They looked back at him. Empty, tired, hopeless. He was about to speak when another alarm blared. This one was different. Fast, sharp, urgent. The bunker's ancient deep space scanner, a device so old it barely worked, suddenly flickered to life. Its screen glowed red, then green, then bright white. "Unknown object entering the system," shouted Mira. Her voice changed. Confusion mixed with fear. Rian frowned. No ship should be out there. None survived. The screen zoomed in, locking onto a burning point of light far beyond the moon. The light grew brighter, faster. Too fast for any human ship. More alarms. Object speed is beyond known limits. Energy levels rising. Identity signal incoming. Then the scanner printed 3 impossible words. Human warship detected. Everyone froze. The bunker went silent. Completely silent. Rian walked to the screen slowly, breath heavy, eyes wide. A human warship? That's impossible. We don't have any left. The object grew larger on the screen. Its shape came into focus, a black triangle with long shadowed wings, glowing lines along its hull like veins of fire. The computer read the signature out loud. Designation: HSS Valkyrian. Class: Titan warship. Status: destroyed. 97 years ago. Shock rippled through the bunker. Mira whispered. That ship was lost before the war even started. My grandfather used to tell stories about it. But it wasn't a story anymore. It was real. It was coming. Above Earth, the Krail fleet saw the ship too. Their formations shifted. Their mothership released warning pulses, something they had never done before. Even the enemy was afraid of this ghost from the past. Inside the bunker, Rian felt something strange, a feeling he hadn't felt in years. "Oh!" A small voice from a comm station shouted. "It's sending a message." Static filled the speakers. Then a deep, steady human voice spoke. "Humanity, you are not alone." A tremor passed through the bunker. Some soldiers covered their mouths. Others cried silently. Children looked up with wide eyes. Rian felt his heart pounding in his chest. Outside, high above the clouds, The Valkyrian turned toward the Krail mothership. Its engines roared like a beast awakening after a century of sleep. A glowing symbol lit up on its hull, the old emblem of the human fleet, forgotten by time. The Krail fired first. Blue beams of energy shot across space. Everyone watched the screen, breath held. For a moment, it looked like the ship would be destroyed. But the Valkyrian moved. Not like a normal ship. Not like something built by human hands. It turned with impossible speed. Its wings shifted shape. Its armor rippled like living metal. A second later, the ship fired. A single blast. White. Blinding. Silent. The Krail destroyer in its path didn't explode. It simply vanished, erased as if it had never existed. The bunker erupted in disbelief. Voices rose. Hands shook. Tears fell. Commander Rian Hale stared at the screen, whispering the words he never thought he would say again. Humanity still has a chance. And the battle for Earth had just begun. The shock of the Valkyrian's return spread across the bunker like a wave. Soldiers who were moments away from surrender now stood tall. Technicians rushed between screens. People whispered the same question again and again. Where was this ship for 97 years? Commander Rian Hale did not have the answer. No one did. But right now, answers didn't matter. Survival did. Mira Voss studied the scans, her fingers trembling as she spoke. Commander, the Valkyrian is not just operational. It has systems, weapons, energy levels that don't match anything from its time. Rian stepped beside her, watching the readings jump off the charts. This isn't possible, he said softly. The ship moved through space like a predator. Every turn was smooth, every motion precise. It didn't just look advanced, it looked alive. Far above, the Krail fleet changed formation. Their ships pulled back, forming a shield wall around their mothership. The Valkyrian flew directly toward them, undisturbed. A Krail commander's voice echoed across intercepted channels. A voice filled with fear. The lost one has returned. No one in the bunker understood what it meant, but the tone was clear. The Krail knew this ship, and they feared it. Rian whispered. If the enemy is scared, then this ship is far more dangerous than we ever imagined. The Valkyrian fired again. This time, a pulse of red-white energy curved like a spear of light. It cut through a Krail cruiser, slicing it clean in half. No explosion. No debris. Just silence. Mira stared at the screen. That weapon. It doesn't match anything humans ever built. Rian nodded slowly. It's using something new. Something we don't understand. A communication officer shouted. Commander, the ship is scanning Earth. It's reading our bunkers, our troop numbers, even our old defense towers. Is it preparing to help us? Someone asked. No one was sure. The Valkyrian was a mystery wrapped in another mystery. Suddenly, a call request appeared on the main screen. Origin. HSS Valkyrian. The room fell silent. Everyone stared. Rian's throat felt dry. He nodded. Put it through. Static filled the speakers again. Then a voice. Calm. Deep. Steady. Earth Command. This is Captain Eric Salas of the Valkyrian. Gasps echoed around the bunker. Mira whispered. That name. He was the original test pilot of the ship. Rian knew the history. Eric Salas was one of the finest commanders of the old human fleet. He disappeared with the ship during its first deep space test. There were no survivors. He should be long dead. Rian stepped closer to the microphone. Captain Salas. How are you alive? A long silence. Only the hum of the bunker lights filled the room. Then the voice returned, strangely distant. We did not die. We were changed. Chills ran through the bunker. Changed. What did that mean? Before Rian could ask more, another alert sounded. The Krail mothership began charging a massive energy weapon, a planet burner, capable of destroying entire cities in a single shot. A red warning flashed across every screen. Commander, they're targeting us, a soldier shouted. Rian's hands tightened. He knew Earth's bunkers couldn't survive a direct strike. But the Valkyrian moved. It accelerated so fast that sensors struggled to keep up. A shockwave of light trailed behind it as it flew straight toward the mothership. "It's going to intercept," Mira shouted. Everyone held their breath. The Krail fired the planet burner. A blue beam, thick as a tower, shot toward Earth. But at the last moment, the Valkyrian unfolded its wings and released a barrier of shimmering silver light. The two forces collided. The bunker shook violently. Screens flickered. Dust fell from the ceiling. Then, the blue beam bent, twisted, and ricocheted back toward the Krail fleet. The mothership was struck by its own weapon. The explosion lit up the sky like a second sun. Gasps, cheers, and cries filled the bunker. Rian whispered in disbelief. "How did the Valkyrian do that?" Mira scanned the readings. It reflected the energy. Not blocked. Redirected. No human system could do that. Her eyes widened. It's as if the ship knew exactly how the weapon worked. Before anyone could celebrate, another message came from the Valkyrian. "Earth Command, prepare for full evacuation protocol. The Krail are not defeated. They are releasing something far worse." Rian froze. "Worse? Worse than their mothership." The voice of Captain Salas answered. "Yes, they are releasing the Void Eater." Silence. Cold. Heavy. Terrifying. Mira felt her blood run cold. "What is a Void Eater?" The captain replied. "A creature made for one purpose. To destroy ships like mine." The bunker's lights dimmed. Warning sirens blared again. The battle had only begun. And the true enemy had just awakened. The word Void Eater spread through the bunker like a cold wind. Even soldiers who had stood fearless for years now looked uneasy. If the Valkyrian, a ship that erased enemy cruisers with a single shot, warned about something worse, then it had to be truly terrifying. Commander Rian Hale leaned closer to the microphone. "Captain Salas, what is this creature? How do we fight it?" There was a long silence on the comm line. Finally, the captain answered, his voice steady but strangely distant. "You cannot fight it. Only the Valkyrian can." Myra's hands tightened on the console. "What does that mean? What kind of creature hunts warships?" Captain Salas spoke again. "One built in darkness. One built to devour stars and consume metal. The Krail created it after our disappearance. They designed it to kill me." Rian felt a chill crawl up his spine. "You mean they built it because of your ship?" "Yes," the captain replied. "They feared what the Valkyrian could become. Now they fear what it already is." In orbit above Earth, a large hatch opened beneath the Krail mothership. Dark blue clouds spilled out, forming a swirling portal of strange energy. Something massive moved inside the mist, too large, too twisted, too unnatural for any normal battlefield. Technicians zoomed the image. A shape emerged. A creature made of black bone and metallic flesh. Its mouth was a ring of spinning teeth. Its skin rippled like liquid armor. Its giant wings unfolded, each one bigger than the Valkyrian itself. The bunker fell silent. No one breathed. Mira whispered, That thing can swallow ships?" Rian shook his head slowly. "It can swallow fleets." For the first time, the comm screen flickered and revealed a dim interior. The bridge of the Valkyrian was dark, almost pitch black. Strange glowing lines pulsed through the walls like veins. The ship didn't look built. It looked grown. And at the center stood a lone figure. The man wore an old Earth Fleet uniform, torn in places, fused with cables and glowing patterns that ran across his arms and neck. His face was hidden behind a smooth silver mask. This was Captain Eric Salas. But he did not look like the man from old photos. He looked changed. Mira felt her heart race. "He's human, right?" Rian wasn't sure. Captain Salas finally looked toward the screen, his mask reflecting a faint blue light. "Earth Command," he said, "you must understand something. I am not the same person who left Earth 97 years ago." Rian swallowed hard. "What happened to you out there, Captain?" The captain's hand brushed the cables connected to his suit. "The Valkyrian saved me." Captain Salas continued speaking, his voice calm, almost emotionless. "During our first deep space test, we encountered a gravitational tear, a wound in space. The ship fell inside. We should have died. He paused. But the Valkyrian changed. It rebuilt itself. It rebuilt me. It kept me alive in places beyond human understanding. Myra's voice trembled. So, you merged with the ship? Another moment of silence. Yes. To command the Valkyrian now means to be part of it. Rian felt a mix of fear and respect. This man was no longer just a commander. He was something else entirely. Something between human and machine, between pilot and vessel. Captain Salas continued. I felt your people suffering. I felt the fall of human colonies. When your chance of survival reached almost zero, the ship woke me. The bunker grew still. The Valkyrian returned because humanity reached its breaking point. Because hope was almost gone. Above Earth, the huge creature spread its wings and let out a silent roar. The motion shook the Krail fleet, bending smaller ships from the pressure alone. It turned its eyeless head toward the Valkyrian. Rian whispered, It's searching for him. Mira added, No, it already found him. The creature charged. Space bent around its body as it moved, pulling debris, light, and energy into swirling patterns. The Valkyrian didn't flinch. It hovered, wings unfolding like blades. Captain Salas' voice echoed across the bunker. Earth Command, this will be the greatest threat you have ever seen. Stay silent, stay hidden, and watch closely. The two giants clashed in orbit. The Void Eater lunged, its maw spinning like a storm. The Valkyrian twisted aside with impossible speed, firing a volley of burning white spears. The creature roared, a soundless shockwave that cracked nearby asteroids. It swung its wings, slicing through Krail ships, devouring them as it passed. The Valkyrian fired again, this time releasing red beams that curved mid-flight, targeting weak points across the creature's body. The bunker shook with each blow exchanged above the planet. Mira whispered, How can a single ship fight a monster like that? Rian answered softly, Because its captain is not just a man anymore. During a moment of calm, Captain Salas spoke again. Earth Command. There is something more you must know. Rian stepped closer. What is it, Captain? A flicker of emotion passed through the masked man's voice. I am not the only one who changed. The ship has memories, thoughts, and warnings. Mira frowned. Warnings about what? Captain Salas replied. About the true origin of the Krail, and why they fear us. The transmission cut for a moment. The creature roared again in orbit, and the Valkyrian prepared to reveal secrets buried for a century. The bunker shook again as the battle above Earth grew louder. Screens flickered, alarms beeped, dust fell, but no one looked away. Every pair of eyes stayed locked on the image of the Valkyrian and the monstrous Void Eater clashing in the sky. Commander Rian Hale stood frozen. Captain Salas' last words replayed in his mind. The ship has warnings. About the true origin of the Krail, and why they fear us. What could be so terrible that even the Krail, destroyers of worlds, would fear it? Rian moved closer to the comm panel. Captain Salas, what are you trying to tell us? What is their secret? For a moment, only static answered. The transmission flickered. Then the captain's calm voice returned. But this time, there was an edge of urgency. Earth Command. The Krail did not find us by accident. They came because of the Valkyrian. Mira Voss gasped. So, the war started because of our ship? No, Captain Salas replied. Because of what the ship carries inside it. The comm screen showed the Valkyrian's bridge again. Dark, pulsing with strange glowing lines. Captain Salas placed a hand on one of the walls. The metal shifted under his touch, like warm skin. The Valkyrian was built with a unique engine, the Sentinel Core, he said. It is not just an engine. It is a living source of power. Something old. Something dangerous. Rian frowned. Dangerous to us, or to them? The captain's mask turned slightly toward the screen. Both. Just then, the Void Eater attacked again. Its razor wings cut through space, sending waves of force that shattered broken ship pieces around it. The Valkyrian dodged, leaving streaks of glowing light in its wake. Captain Salas continued speaking, unfazed by the violence around him. The Krail discovered the existence of this core long before humanity did. They believed it was a part of an ancient energy being, a creature that vanished from the universe thousands of years ago. Mira whispered. A creature? Inside our ship. A fragment, Salas corrected. A piece of something beyond understanding. Something the Krail wanted for themselves. His voice lowered. When they learned humans had recovered it, they declared war. Silence fell across the bunker. Everyone finally understood the terrible truth. The Krail had not been trying to wipe out humans because they feared them. They were trying to wipe out humans because humans stole something powerful, without knowing it. Rian's voice was heavy. So all these years, billions dead, entire colonies destroyed, because of a single artifact? Yes, Salas said. And because they believed we would unlock it. Mira felt anger rise in her chest. They killed our people for something we didn't even understand. Captain Salas' voice softened. I know. And that is why the Valkyrian hid itself after our crash. To keep the core away from both sides. Suddenly, every warning light in the bunker turned red. The technician shouted, Commander! The Krail mothership is opening all compartments. They're releasing more of those smaller creatures. Rian turned sharply. Smaller void eaters? Mira checked the data. No, these are different. Faster. Designed for attack. Dozens of black-winged shapes poured out of the mothership, swarming toward the Valkyrian like a dark storm. Captain Salas' voice stayed calm. They are trying to weaken me. They know I will not leave Earth. The smallest creature shot toward the Valkyrian. The ship unfolded a ring of burning light and vaporized it instantly. But more came. Dozens. Then hundreds. The Valkyrian spun, shifting shape mid-flight, turning its wings into shields, then blades, then funnels of fire. Every movement was impossible. Every attack was perfect. But even the strongest ship can be overwhelmed. The Krail mothership powered up a new system, one that no one had seen before. A deep vibration echoed through space. Even from the bunker, the humans felt it. The technician screamed, Commander! They're charging a gravity weapon. Rian stared at the readings. That weapon. It's meant to trap the Valkyrian. Captain Salas reacted immediately. They are trying to contain me. They want the core. They want to take it alive. Myra's face paled. What happens if they capture you? The captain whispered the truth. They will tear the ship apart, piece by piece. They will use the core to become unstoppable. Rian felt a cold weight sink in his stomach. If the Krail controlled something that powerful, the universe would burn. We cannot let that happen, he said firmly. No, the captain agreed. That is why I must reveal the last part of the truth. The transmission sharpened. Captain Salas leaned forward, his voice lowering. The Valkyrian did not only rebuild itself after the crash. It evolved. Mira frowned. What do you mean, evolved? The captain's next words shook the bunker. The ship learned. The core grew. And the Valkyrian is no longer just a warship. Rian stepped closer. What is it then? Captain Salas answered. A living guardian. A being that adapts to threats. A creation the Krail once tried to make, but failed. The bunker erupted in whispers. The Krail had tried to make something like the Valkyrian, a living weapon, but the humans had succeeded by accident. And now they wanted it back. Above Earth, the Void Eater roared again, its body glowing with dark energy. The smaller beasts circled the Valkyrian, closing in like sharks. Captain Salas spoke a final warning. Earth Command. The Krail will risk everything to capture the Valkyrian. They will not stop. Not now. Not ever. Rian breathed out slowly. Then we fight. But the captain said something that froze his blood. You won't be fighting alone. Because the Valkyrian has awakened something else. Something buried deep inside the ship for nearly a century. The screens flickered. The Valkyrian began to glow. And the next stage of the battle was about to begin. The moment the strange warship entered the system, every sensor on Arc 7 began to shake with warnings. No one understood what they were seeing. It looked human, but wrong, as if time, space, and memory had all been twisted into one. Commander Rian stood at the center of the bridge, unable to look away from the hollow screen. The ship drifted slowly, almost peacefully. Yet something about it made the air feel cold. The crew whispered behind him. "Sir, that's a human design, isn't it?" "It looks like one, but the structure doesn't match any Earth ship." "Could it be a trap?" Rian raised a hand, silencing them. He studied the dark hull of the vessel. It carried the old Earth War-era markings. But those designs were from hundreds of years ago, lost in the early wars, destroyed or vanished. And this one looked untouched, almost newly forged, a ghost from a forgotten age. Lieutenant Mira stepped forward. "Sir, should we send a message?" Rian hesitated. Something deep inside him whispered no. This ship did not arrive by chance. Came with purpose. "Not yet," he replied. "Run a deep scan. I want every detail." The AI system, non-sentient, simple, sent out a wave of energy. The scan bounced back a second later, results flashing across the screen. And every person on the bridge froze when they read the numbers. No life signs. No engine signature. No internal heat. No crew. Yet the ship moved, as if it was alive without being alive. Mira whispered. "Sir, this thing is not empty. It's sleeping." Rian didn't answer. But she was right. Even without words, even without motion, even without crew, the warship felt awake, watching, waiting. Suddenly, the dark panels on the ship's hull flickered. Lines of blue light pulsed across its surface like veins. Something ancient was turning on. "Shields up!" Rian shouted. The crew reacted instantly. The Arc 7 glowed with a transparent barrier of light. But no one relaxed. Because the ancient ship did not attack. Instead, a communication channel opened on its own. No one pressed anything. No one called it. The bridge screen flickered. Static. Distorted audio. Broken whispers. Then a voice emerged. Old, cracked, filled with pain. "If anyone hears this." The crew fell silent. Even the engine seemed quieter. "We died long ago, but something brought us back." The audio broke. Came back. Broke again. "Do not board us. Do not trust what you see. We are not ourselves." The screen cut to black. A dead ship just spoke. A crew long gone just warned them. Mira stepped back, hand over her mouth. "Sir, what happened to them?" Rian felt a chill run down his spine. "Something used them," he said slowly. "Something inside that ship." "But what?" "An alien species?" she asked. Rian shook his head. "No, something worse. Something that turns humans into tools." Before anyone could speak, the ship moved again. Not toward them, but toward the empty space between two debris fields. Then, it stopped. A small docking platform extended from its side. The message was clear. It wanted them to come. The bridge erupted with fear. "Sir, we can't go there. It's a trap. Something inside that ship killed an entire crew." Rian raised his hand again. "Calm down." But inside, he was not calm. He knew fear well. And this fear was different. This fear came from instinct. Mira turned to him, eyes tense. "Rian, if something infected that ship, what if it spreads? What if it jumps to ours?" "That's why we won't send the whole crew," he said quietly. Mira froze. "You're not thinking. I'll go alone." The room exploded in protest. "Sir, that's not procedure. We can't lose our commander. It's suicide." But Rian looked at the ancient ship. He felt the pull of fate. Not destiny, but warning. "That ship came here for a reason," he said. "And it opened its doors for a reason." Mira stepped closer, lowering her voice. "You think it came for you?" Rian didn't answer. Because he didn't know. But something inside him whispered yes. He prepared quickly. Light armor. Helmet. Short-range pulse rifle. Simple tools. Minimal gear. No one could hide their worry. As he entered the shuttle bay, Mira ran up to him. "Rian, Don't go in alone. At least take a drone. He nodded. One drone. Nothing more. The shuttle powered up. The engines hummed. The metal doors opened, revealing the black, silent colossus hovering in space. The forgotten human warship. The ghost of a lost era. As Rian entered the shuttle, Mira placed a hand on the window. Please come back, she whispered. Rian tried to smile. I'll try. The shuttle detached from the Ark, 7, drifted across the silent void, toward the ship that should not exist, toward the mystery that could change everything. As the docking bay of the ancient ship opened, a cold, blue light spilled out. A voice, unheard by his crew, echoed inside Rian's helmet. Welcome back, Commander. Rian froze. He had never been here before. So how did this ship know him? The shuttle touched the docking platform with a soft metal thud. Rian exhaled slowly. The air inside his helmet felt heavy, as if something unseen was pressing around him. The docking doors slid open without sound. No steam. No lights flickering. Just a cold blue glow spilling into the shuttle. The drone floated beside him, scanning every corner. Rian stepped inside, and the moment he crossed the threshold, the door behind him closed, on its own. He didn't turn back. He knew fear would win if he looked. The corridor ahead was long and metallic, but it didn't look old. The walls were clean. Not a scratch. Not a sign of battle. Not even dust. It was like the ship had been built yesterday. But the design, the symbols, the structure, all belonged to a human warship from centuries ago. Rian whispered to himself, "How are you still alive?" The drone beeped suddenly. A message appeared on his wrist screen. No life signs detected. No movement. No airflow. The ship was dead. Yet the lights were on. Rian moved deeper into the corridor. Each step echoed softly. Too softly. As if the ship was absorbing sound. He reached a door labeled Command Deck. It slid open before he touched it. Inside the room, everything looked normal. Chairs, consoles, screens. But there was no crew. Only empty seats. Then he saw something that made his spine tighten. On the captain's chair lay a human helmet. Cracked, burned, and covered in deep claw marks. Not alien claws. Not metal damage. Something stronger. Something angry. Rian crouched, touching the edge of the helmet. Still warm. Warm. His heart skipped. Impossible, he whispered. The drone beeped again. Another scan appeared. Object temperature, 32 degrees Celsius. Warm for less than 10 minutes. Someone touched it recently. Or something touched it. Rian rose slowly. His heartbeat was loud in his ears. That was when he heard it. Footsteps. Soft. Slow. Human-like. Coming from the hallway behind him. Rian turned instantly, pulse rifle ready. But the corridor was empty. The footsteps stopped. Then a voice whispered behind him. You came back. Rian spun around. Nothing. No one. Only cold blue lights. The command screens suddenly flickered. Lines of code rushed past. Symbols he had never seen before. Then a face appeared on the center monitor. A human face. A man in a captain's uniform. Eyes empty. Skin pale like someone drowned. Rian froze. The man spoke in a calm, dead tone. You should not be here. Rian tried to steady his voice. Who are you? The man did not blink. We were the crew of the Ghost Lance. We vanished in the dark rift. We died there. Or we thought we died. The room felt colder. What happened to you? Rian asked. The dead captain stared through the screen. Something found us. Something old. Something that needed human minds, not bodies. Rian felt his stomach twist. What did it do to you? The captain's expression did not change. It kept our memories. It copied our voices. It used our thoughts. But our bodies, they were not needed. Rian whispered, So you're not alive? No, the captain replied. But the ship is. The lights dimmed. The panels glowed brighter. The entire room seemed to pulse like a giant heartbeat. Rian stepped back. Why did the ship bring me here? The screen flickered again. The captain's voice cracked. It remembers you. Rian shook his head. I have never seen this ship in my life. The dead captain leaned forward. You were not meant to. But your DNA carries something. Something the ship recognizes. My DNA? How? The captain no longer answered. Instead, a new message appeared on the screen in large text. Core request. Genetic match confirmed. Authority. Commander Rian Haver. Access opened. Rian's chest tightened. Command authority? This ship thinks I'm its commander. The dead captain spoke one last time before his face dissolved into static. Leave now, before it wakes fully. Before it decides you belong to it. The monitors went dark. A deep, metal hum echoed through the ship. Slow, rhythmic, like breathing. The ship was waking up. And it wanted him. Rian turned and ran. As he sprinted down the corridor, the lights began to shift from calm blue to deep red. The drone beeped wildly, trying to keep up. Doors slammed open in front of him, closed behind him. The ship was guiding him. Not to escape, but deeper inside. Rian whispered through clenched teeth. I'm not yours. But the ship responded. A cold whisper filled the hallway, inside his helmet, inside his mind. You are. You always were. Rian's breath caught. He didn't know how. He didn't know why. But the ship believed he belonged to it. And now, it was coming to claim him. Rian kept running. His footsteps echoed through the empty metal halls as the red lights flashed around him. The ship was fully awake now. It wasn't hiding its voice anymore. Come to the core. You must return. You belong with us. The whispers slid through the air like cold fingers. Every word made Rian's heartbeat faster. The drone followed behind him, sending constant warnings. Energy spikes detected. Structure shifting. Path closing. Corridors moved like living muscle. Walls stretched. Floors lowered. Doors rotated into new shapes. The warship was not just a machine. It was alive in its own strange way. And it wanted Rian to go deeper. He reached a large chamber with a round opening in the floor. A soft blue light rose from below, like mist floating upward. A staircase unfolded for him. Smooth, silent, perfect. Designed for a human. Designed for him. Rian hesitated. Why me? He whispered. The ship answered at once, its voice colder now. Your blood holds the key. Your family was chosen. Your ancestors touched the rift. You carry the echo. Rian froze. His father had always spoken about the rift projects, old secret missions that were erased from history. He never believed them. Now, it felt real. The drone beeped urgently. Advise. Leave immediately. Ship biomass activation rising. Unknown intent. Rian exhaled. I know. But if I leave now, this ship will chase us. It knows me. It found me once. It can find me again. The drone beeped low, almost like a sad tone. Rian stepped onto the staircase. The steps carried him down into the heart of the ship. At the bottom was a massive chamber filled with floating metal pieces turning slowly in the air. Shards of unknown technology, glowing with pale light. In the center hovered a sphere of shifting energy. It looked alive. Breathing. Waiting. Rian understood instantly. This was the core. The heart. The thing that consumed the original crew. The cold whisper returned, louder now, echoing in the entire chamber. We protected Earth before you were born. We fought in the Rift War. We needed a new commander. Your mind will complete us. Rian shouted. I will never join you. The chamber trembled. The floating metal pieces spun faster. You have no choice. Your blood calls to us. The sphere extended thin lines of blue light toward him, like reaching hands. Rian raised his pulse rifle. Fired. The shots hit the sphere, but the energy absorbed them like nothing. He stepped back. His boots scraped against the floor. But the ship had no anger. It had certainty. Your body is weak. Your mind is stronger. We only need that. The light reached closer. The room felt tighter. His breathing became harder. Rian's mind raced. He had only one advantage left. The drone. Drone, he shouted. Set overload timer. 20 seconds. The drone twirled once. It understood. A blinking red light appeared under it. Overload activated. 20 seconds. The sphere reacted instantly. Stop. This was not meant. You cannot harm us. Rian stepped back slowly. I don't need to destroy you, he said. I just need to break your link to me. The drone flew straight into the energy sphere. The chamber exploded with white light. The ship screamed, not with metal, but with thousands of human voices mixed together. A terrible echo. No, you cannot leave. You are ours. Rian turned and ran up the stairs as the entire chamber shook apart. Walls cracked. Lights burst. Energy spilled like lightning. The ship was dying. Or changing. Maybe both. He reached the docking bay. The shuttle doors were open. Waiting. He jumped inside, slammed the controls, and launched out into space just as the warship's hull split with a bright flash. The ghost lance began to collapse inward, folding into itself like paper burning in reverse. Dark panels shattered. Blue veins went black. Its shape twisted into a ball of broken metal and fading light. Then, silence. The ship went dark. Dead. Truly dead. For the first time since it emerged from the void, it stopped watching him. Rian's shuttle reconnected with the Ark 7. The crew rushed to greet him as he stepped out. Exhausted, pale, shaking. Mira grabbed his arm. Rian, what happened? We thought the ship swallowed you. He stared out the window at the silent ruin drifting in space. It tried, he said softly. But it didn't get what it wanted. What did it want? She asked. Rian looked down at his hands. The same hands the ship called for. The same blood it recognized. It wanted a commander, he said. It wanted me. The crew fell silent. Mira whispered, Is it gone? Rian shook his head slowly. I don't know. But ships like that, things like that, they don't die so easily. He turned away from the window. Prepare the report, and warn the fleet. This wasn't an accident. Because deep inside the shattered warship, a faint blue light flickered once. Just once. As if something inside was still alive. Still waiting. Still watching.